and welcome back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie, and last week we did James Patterson read-alikes, and we told you we were going to do Danielle Steel read-alikes. So if you're fans of Danielle Steel, I grabbed some of her newest books off our shelf. This is Complications, The Butler. This just came out in March. High Stakes. We're going to offer up some authors that you may like as an alternative to her. So I'll turn it over to Jill for her first pick.
Danielle Steele's a hard one because she writes so many books. But I picked another prolific author, Fern Michaels. She's an American author of romance and thriller novels and has 150 best-selling books. So she's got a big part of the shelf, too, if you run out of Danielle Steel. So this is one of her newer ones. At first glance, few would guess that Luna and Cullen Boardman are siblings. Cullen is efficient and serious, while his younger sister Luna is a free spirit. When the two launch their furniture restoration shop cafe, an offshoot of the family's longtime antique business, in an up-and-coming art center, little do they know their unique talents may be their only defense against a dangerous betrayal. When Luna gets a strange sense about a piece Cullen just acquired, the two find themselves uniting to solve a mystery that has a far-reaching consequences, never knowing there are some who will stop at nothing to claim what they believe is theirs. No matter what, Luna and Cullen know they can rely on each other, and this time their lives may depend on it, which I just realized this would have been a good sibling story as well. But Fern Michaels, I recommend her if you like a little bit of thriller, fast read.
And my first pick is by Barbara Taylor Bradford. This was published in 2014, and it's got a little bit of glare on the title, but it's Cavendon Hall. It's an epic saga of intrigue and mystique set in Edwardian England. Cavendon Hall is home to two families, the aristocratic Inghams and the Swans who serve them. Sounds a bit like Downton Abbey. Charles Ingham, the 6th Earl of Mallery, lives there with his wife Felicity and their 6 children. Walter Swan, the premier male of the Swan family, is valet to the Earl. His wife Alice, a clever seamstress who is in charge of the Countess's wardrobe, also makes clothes for the 4 daughters. For centuries, these two families have lived side by side beneath the backdrop of the imposing Yorkshire manor. Lady Daphne, the most beautiful of the Earl's daughters, is about to be presented at court when a devastating event changes her life and threatens the Ingham name. With World War I looming, both families will find themselves tested in ways they never thought possible. Loyalties will be challenged and betrayals will be set in motion. In this time of uncertainty, one thing is sure, these two families will never be the same again. This book is Barbara Taylor Bradford at her very best, they say, and its sweeping story of secrets, love, honor, and betrayal will have readers riveted up to the very last page. This is actually part of a series containing 4 books. So, Barbara Taylor Bradford, my first alternative pick to Danielle Steel.
And with the Downton Abbey movie coming out, you might want to watch it for read it for multiple reasons. So my next one is another prolific author, Susan Mallery, and this is The Stepsisters, which was published in 2021. It looks to me like a lot of these authors have series, but it looks like Susan Mallery writes a lot of books that aren't part of series. So they're all standalone, so you can read any one of them you want, I guess. There's probably some that are in series. And if you find them, let us know in the comments. Susan Mallery is an American author of popular romance novels set in non-urban, close-knit communities. Because of her love for animals, pets play a significant role in her books, so there's usually a pet involved. Once upon a time, when her dad married Sage's mom, Daisy was thrilled to get a bright and shiny new sister. But Sage was beautiful and popular, everything Daisy was not, and she made sure Daisy knew it. Sage didn't have Daisy's smarts. She had to go back a grade to enroll in the fancy rich kid school, so she used her popularity as a weapon, putting Daisy down to elevate herself. After the divorce, the stepsisters' rivalry continues until a final improbable straw. Daisy married Sage's first love, and Sage fled California. 18 years, 2 kids, and 1 troubled marriage later, Daisy never expects or wants to see Sage again. But when the little sister they have in common needs them both, they put aside their differences to care for Cassidy. A long-buried truce are revealed. No one is more surprised than when their friendship blooms. Their fragile truce is threatened by one careless act that could have devastating consequences, and they could turn their backs on each other again or could learn to forgive one another and finally become true sisters at heart, which is another sibling story.
I was going to say, you got another sibling pick.
I must be stuck on that one a little bit. Susan Mallery.
My second pick is Barbara Delinsky, and this is A Woman's Place. This was published back in 2008. My mom was a Danielle Steel fan, and she also was a fan of Barbara Delinsky books. So, in this one, everything Claire Raphael has, she's earned on her own, the hard way. She built her part-time business up from nothing and made it successful through her imagination, creativity, and hard work. She has 2 great children and Dennis, a husband she loves completely. Then one evening, when Claire returns from a difficult business trip, Dennis hands her divorce papers, along with a court order to vacate their house. Claire is devastated. She had no idea her marriage was on the brink of disaster, that Dennis had been planning this ambush for weeks, if not months, or that her hectic but happy life was about to come crashing down around her. She doesn't know where to turn or whom to trust, but in a few short weeks she's learned what so many women have had to discover, that when the going gets tough, a woman's as tough as she needs to be. So check out Barbara Delinsky as this book, A Woman's Place, as my second alternative to Danielle Steel.
I read a few Barbara Delinsky books, and I did enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, like I said, my mom liked her a lot, along with Danielle Steel.
My next suggestion is Susan Wiggs. This is The Apple Orchard, which is the Bella Vista Chronicles. This is the first one in the series. And also in this series, this book shows up, the Lost and Found Bookshop, which is very popular. So this is the first one if you want to start with that. Susan Wiggs writes a lot of historical and contemporary romance. So this Tess Delaney makes a living returning stolen treasures to their rightful owner. She loves illuminating history, filling the spaces in people's hearts with stories of their family legacies. But Tess's own history is filled with gaps. A father she never met, a mother who spent more time traveling than with her daughter. Then Dominic Rossi arrives on the doorstep of the San Francisco shop Tess hopes to buy, and he tells her that the grandfather she never knew is in a coma. Tess has been named in his will to inherit half of Bella Vista, a 100-acre apple orchard in the magical Sonoma town called Archangel. The rest is willed to Isabel Johansson, a half-sister she didn't hear of yet. Another sister story. Isabel isn't everything Tess isn't. All softness to Tess's hard angles, warm and nurturing where Tess is tightly wound, but against the rich landscape of Bella Vista, with Isabel and Dominic by her side, Tess begins to discover a world filled with simple pleasures of food and family, of the warm earth beneath her bare feet, a world where family comes first and roots of history run deep. So, yeah, looks like another light read, kind of fun, with sisters.
My third pick is by Patricia Gaffney, published in 2004, and this is The Saving Graces. Meet the Saving Graces, 4 of the best friends a woman can ever have. For 10 years, Emma, Rudy, Lee, and Isabel have shared a deep affection that has helped them deal with the ebb and flow of expectations and disappointments common to us all. Calling themselves the Saving Graces, the quartet is united by understanding, honesty, and acceptance, a connection that seems to grow stronger as the years go by. Though these sisters of the heart and soul have seen it all, talked through it all, they will not be prepared for a crisis of outstanding proportions that will put their love and courage to the ultimate test. So this book is written in the first person, and it's narrated by each of the 4 main characters, so the chapters flip through each of those 4 women. So if that sounds interesting to you as an alternative to Danielle Steel, check out Patricia Gaffney's The Saving Graces.
My next suggestion is Jill Santopolo and More Than Words. This book is published in 2019. Jill Santopolo is the author of The Light We Lost, the Alec Flint Mysteries, and Sparkle Spa series, and Follow Your Heart books. She holds a BA in English Literature in Columbia University and MFA in Writing for Children from Vermont College of Fine Arts, and a certificate in intellectual property. She's also the editorial director of Philomel Books, an imprint of Penguin Young Readers Group. So I think that's interesting that she's like an editor as well. Nina Gregory has always been a good daughter, a good girlfriend raised by her father, owner of the New York's glamorous Gregory Hotels. After her mother's death, Nina is taught that family, reputation, and legacy are what matters most, and her boyfriend, Tim, thoughtful, kind, and honest, not to mention her best friend since childhood, feels the same. But after Nina's father passes away, she learns he may not have practiced what he preached. As her world falls apart, Nina begins to question everything she thought she knew about the men in her life, her father, her boyfriend, and unexpectedly, her handsome and attentive boss, Raphael, in a new light. Soon Nina finds herself caught between the world she knows and loves and the passion that could upend anything. So, More Than Words.
That's a new author for me.
Yeah, she's got a few books, but
And this author also, I wasn't that familiar with. So this is Eileen Goudge, published in 2009, and this is The Diary. She's the best-selling author of Domestic Affairs and Woman in Red, but I've never read her. When the two grown daughters of Elizabeth Marshall discover an old diary of their mother's in her attic, it comes as a shock to learn that the true love of Elizabeth's life was not their father. This is the mystery the two daughters must unravel as they stay up late reading the words penned by Elizabeth so long ago. Their mother can't give them the answers. After a massive stroke, she lies mute and near death in a nursing home. Only the pages of her diary can provide the clues as to what really happened. In a richly detailed journey into the past, we see Elizabeth lose her heart to one man while remaining devoted to another. Finally, she must choose between the stable, loyal Bob and the electrifying and unpredictable AJ, who spent time in juvenile detention as a teen. When a suspicious fire in the neighborhood is linked to AJ, Elizabeth is faced with another dilemma. She's the only person who can clear AJ's name, but to do so would ruin her reputation. Surprisingly, it's Bob who comes to the rescue, forcing Elizabeth to make perhaps the most painful decision of her life. The Diary is a love story. It's also the story of an unshakable bond between a mother and her two daughters as they're trying to unravel what all went on. So, The Diary by Eileen Goudge.
I feel like Danielle Steel read-alikes are often about family. My next suggestion is Jude Deveraux. This is Chance of a Lifetime, which is the first in the Providence Falls series. It is written with Tara Sheets, who gets like little rating there. Jude Deveraux is an American author of historical romances. Jude Deveraux has written over 40 novels. Many have hit the New York Times bestseller list. This one, Chance of a Lifetime, in 1844, Ireland, Liam O'Connor, a rogue and a thief, fell madly in love with the squire's daughter and unwittingly altered the future. Shy and naive Cora MacLeod thought Liam was the answer to her prayers, but the angels disagreed, and they've been waiting for the right moment and time to step in. Now Liam finds himself reunited with his beloved Cora in Providence Falls, North Carolina. The angels have given Liam a task. He must make sure Cora falls in love with another man, the one she was supposed to marry before Liam interfered. But this Cora is very different from the innocent girl who fell for Liam in the past. She's a cop and has confidence and independence he wasn't expecting. She doesn't remember Liam or their past lives, nor is she impressed with his attempts to guide her in any way. Liam wants Cora for herself, but with his soul hanging in the balance, he must choose between a stolen moment in time or an eternity of damnation, which is a little bit different, I think. So, yeah, there's more in that series, too, so...
And my last pick is Anne Riversiden's Low Country, published back in 2002. Caroline Venable has everything her Southern heritage promised: money, prestige, a rich husband, and a predictable routine of country club luncheons and cocktail parties. She is the chatelaine of a magnificent home, hostess to her husband's wealthy friends, and the official one-woman welcome wagon for young eager talent that her husband Clay imports to their corner of South Carolina. If Caroline drinks a little too much for Clay's liking, he knows the reason why, and he takes comfort in the fact that she can escape to the island in the Low Country that her beloved granddaddy left her. Wild and seemingly timeless, the island is a place of breathtaking beauty, and it is the one place where Caroline can lose herself and simply forget. Roaming the island is a band of wild ponies whose freedom and spirit have captivated her since she was a child. When she learns that her husband must either develop the island or lose the company that he spent his whole life building, she is devastated. The Low Country is Caroline's heritage, the one constant she believed would never change. A resort would not only tame and therefore destroy the island she loves, but what would happen to those wild ponies? Low Country is a story of personal renewal and transformation, one woman's proper Old South upbringing and expectations colliding with the New South's runaway prosperity. It's magnificently told, they say, and it is this author at her absolute best. So check out this author and this book, Low Country.
Well, if you're a fan of Danielle Steel, I hope we gave you some ideas of something else to read for you.
Comment, like, share. If you have some favorite authors that are similar to Danielle Steel, we'd love to hear from you and who you like to read. And thank you for watching. You can find us on our Facebook page. You can find us on our website. There's always a link to our videos. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.